In the heart of the majestic kingdom of Ebele, the air buzzed with the excitement of the upcoming coronation of Prince Amadi. His reputation had spread far beyond the kingdom's borders. He was known as a prince of great wisdom and humility, traits that had been nurtured by his father, the wise King Ebele, and his late mother, Queen Emmi, whose compassion still lived on in the memories of the people. Before Prince Amadi could ascend to the throne, however, there was an ancient tradition that had to be fulfilled. The prince needed to find his queen. Only then could he fully take on the role of king, with a partner who would not only rule beside him but also complete the balance of leadership that the ancestors and gods required. Unlike in other lands, the process of choosing a queen in Ebele was not a matter of politics or alliances. It was a sacred duty, guided by the divine will of the ancestors. King Ebele had always trusted the wisdom of Chief Priest Eze, a spiritual leader who had served the royal family for generations. So, on a quiet evening under the vast African sky, King Ebele, Prince Amadi, and a few select elders gathered at the shrine of the ancestors. The air was thick with incense, and the flickering flames of ceremonial candles cast long shadows on the walls of the temple. Chief Priest Eze, dressed in flowing white robes adorned with ancient symbols, sat before a sacred altar. In his hand, he held the sacred cowrie shells, tools for communicating with the gods. As the priest began his incantations, the sound of the distant river seemed to blend with his chants, and the flames on the altar grew brighter. The room seemed to hum with energy as the ancestors' presence filled the space. After what felt like an eternity, Chief Priest Eze lifted his head and looked directly at Prince Amadi. "Your destined queen," he said, his voice both strong and serene, "is named Cynthia. She will guide you, balance you, and together you will usher in a reign of peace and prosperity." A murmur of approval swept through the gathered elders. A name had been revealed, a name that held the future of the kingdom. But Amadi's heart stirred with curiosity. Cynthia was not a common name in Ebele, and as far as he knew, no one in the royal court or the surrounding villages bore such a name. Who could she be? Where would he find her? Though puzzled, Amadi trusted the chief priest's prophecy. With the revelation of his future wife's name, he knew the search would begin. The next day, the kingdom was abuzz with the news of the prophecy. From the bustling markets to the quiet fields, people whispered about the mysterious Cynthia who was destined to marry their beloved prince. Amadi's search for his future queen began in earnest. He traveled from village to village, from the northern highlands to the coastal plains, accompanied by his trusted advisors and guards. Everywhere he went, eligible women of noble birth were presented before him, hoping to catch his eye. They all possessed beauty, grace, and intelligence, but none of them bore the name Cynthia. Days turned into weeks, and still, Prince Amadi could not find the woman foretold by the chief priest. During these travels, the prince met a variety of remarkable women. Some were skilled in the arts, others in healing, and some in leadership. Yet none of them felt like the woman who would be his queen. Amadi was patient, trusting that the gods would eventually guide him to the right woman. Then, one fateful day, everything changed. In the small village of Emmi, nestled on the edge of a vast forest, Amadi and his entourage stopped to rest after days of travel. As was customary, the village elders brought forward the young women of marriageable age to meet the prince. To his surprise, 5 women, all unique in their own ways, caught his attention. They each exuded a quiet strength, a confidence that stood out from the others. But when he asked for their names, something even more extraordinary happened. All 5 of the women were named Cynthia. Amadi was dumbfounded. The chief priest's prophecy had foretold one Cynthia, not 5. Yet, here he was, standing before 5 remarkable women, each possessing qualities he admired, and all sharing the same name. How could this be? For the first time in his life, the prince felt overwhelmed by uncertainty. Could the prophecy have been misinterpreted? Was it a test? The thought of choosing one of the Cynthias without knowing if she was truly the right one filled him with doubt. Determined to find clarity, Amadi decided to return to the capital to seek counsel from Chief Priest Eze. Surely the priest could explain the meaning behind this strange twist in the prophecy. But when Amadi reached the temple, he was met with tragic news. Chief Priest Eze had passed away just 2 days earlier, peacefully joining the ancestors. The kingdom mourned the loss of the great priest, but Amadi was struck with the realization that he was now on his own. Without E's guidance, the task of finding the true Cynthia fell squarely on his shoulders. It was a burden that weighed heavily on his heart. Now, he had no choice but to rely on his own judgment. He had to spend time with each of the 5 Cynthias to learn about their hearts, their dreams, and their strengths. Only then could he hope to uncover the woman destined to be his queen. Amadi began his journey of discovery with the first Cynthia, a skilled healer known for her gentle touch and deep knowledge of medicinal herbs. Her beauty was as natural as the flowers she used in her healing, and her presence brought comfort to all who knew her. Amadi admired her compassion and dedication to her craft. When they were together, they would visit the sick and injured in the villages, where she would demonstrate her mastery of healing. Her touch was tender, her words soothing, and her knowledge of plants and remedies was unmatched. As they spent more time together, Amadi found himself drawn to her kindness. She spoke with great reverence for life, seeing beauty in the smallest details of the natural world. With her, Amadi felt at ease, as though the weight of his responsibilities could be lightened by her presence. But as much as he respected her, Amadi wondered if her gentle nature could handle the complexities of ruling a kingdom. Ebele was a land of diverse challenges. Conflict, politics, and leadership required more than a healing touch. He admired her deeply, but he could not ignore the question lingering in his mind: was she too gentle to be a queen? The second Cynthia was the opposite of the first. She was a brilliant scholar, known throughout the land for her sharp intellect and insatiable curiosity. Her mind was a vast ocean of knowledge, and her thirst for learning knew no bounds. Amadi was captivated by her intelligence. Their conversations were unlike any he had experienced before, deep, philosophical, and forward-thinking. They debated governance, politics, and the future of the kingdom with great passion. She spoke of innovation, the importance of education, and how Ebele could rise to new heights through the pursuit of knowledge. With her, Amadi felt intellectually challenged. She had a vision for the kingdom that aligned with his own ambitions. Together, they dreamed of creating a land where education flourished and wisdom was revered. Yet, despite their intellectual connection, Amadi found it difficult to connect with the scholar on an emotional level. She seemed more concerned with theories and ideas than with the people themselves. Her vision for the kingdom was grand, but it lacked the human touch that Amadi believed was essential for a queen. Could she truly lead with both heart and mind? The third Cynthia was a warrior, a fierce, brave woman who commanded respect on the battlefield. Her strength was legendary, and her loyalty to the kingdom was unwavering. She had trained with the best soldiers and was known for her strategic mind in times of war. Amadi was impressed by her courage and determination. Together, they would ride through the kingdom, visiting the soldiers and fortifying the kingdom's defenses. She spoke of honor, duty, and the importance of protecting the land from threats, both within and beyond its borders. With the warrior, Amadi felt the thrill of adventure and the security of knowing that his kingdom would be safe in her hands. She had the strength to face any challenge, and her leadership on the battlefield was unparalleled. But as much as he respected her, Amadi began to wonder if her heart was more suited to war than to governance. She thrived in conflict, but could she handle the quieter, more delicate aspects of ruling a kingdom? Could she balance her warrior spirit with the diplomacy and compassion required of a queen? Underscore 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 underscore. The fourth Cynthia was a woman deeply connected to the spiritual world. She spent her days in meditation, communing with the ancestors and seeking guidance from the spirits. She believed that the kingdom's success depended on maintaining harmony with nature and the unseen forces that governed the land. Amadi was drawn to her wisdom and her connection to the spiritual realm. She spoke with a calm, soothing voice, and her presence was both grounding and uplifting. Together, they would visit sacred sites, offering prayers and performing rituals to honor the ancestors. With her, Amadi felt a deep sense of peace. She understood the importance of spiritual guidance in leadership and the necessity of honoring the past to secure the future. She had a vision for the kingdom that was rooted in tradition, respect, and balance. However, Amadi also sensed a distance between them. While she was wise and serene, she seemed more focused on the spiritual realm than on the practical matters of the kingdom. Could she lead the people of Ebele with the same grace that she communed with the spirits? Or would her focus on the spiritual world leave the kingdom vulnerable to the challenges of the physical world? Underscore 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 underscore. The final Cynthia was an artist, a woman whose creativity knew no bounds. She was a sculptor, a painter, a poet. Her works of art were known throughout the kingdom for their beauty and depth. Her hands could shape stone into life, and her words could move even the most hardened heart. Amadi was enchanted by her artistry. She saw the world in colors and shapes that others could not. Together, they would walk through the kingdom, visiting the villages where she would create murals and sculptures that celebrated the culture and history of Ebele. With the artist, Amadi felt inspired. She had a vision for the kingdom that was filled with beauty, creativity, and expression. She believed that the heart of a kingdom lay in its people's ability to create and express themselves freely. Yet, despite the joy she brought into his life, Amadi wondered if her focus on art and beauty could sustain a kingdom. Could she handle the weight of responsibility that came with ruling? Could she balance her creative spirit with the practical demands of leadership? Days turned into weeks, and Amadi grew closer to each of the Cynthias. He admired them all, each for their unique qualities and strengths. Yet, the question of which one was the true Cynthia still weighed heavily on his mind. One night, after many sleepless nights of contemplation, Amadi stood before the sacred altar of the ancestors. He lit a single candle and closed his eyes, seeking guidance from the spirits. In the silence, a realization came to him. The true queen would be the one who could see him not just as a prince or a king, but as a man. She would be the one who could stand beside him in both times of joy and sorrow, in peace and in conflict, in light and in shadow. The next morning, Amadi gathered the 5 Cynthias together. With a calm heart, he approached the 5th Cynthia, the artist. She was the one who had seen him, truly seen him, in a way that no one else did. She understood his dreams, his fears, and his heart. She was the one. Amadi and Cynthia were married in a grand celebration that lasted for days. The kingdom rejoiced as their prince, now king, took his place beside his queen. Their reign would be remembered not just for the strength of their leadership but for the love and respect they shared for one another. Together, they balanced tradition and modernity, strength and compassion, intellect and heart. Under their rule, Ebele thrived, becoming a beacon of peace and prosperity in the region. And so, the story of Prince Amadi and Queen Cynthia became legend, a tale passed down from generation to generation as a reminder of the power of love, wisdom, and the journey of self-discovery. The end.